Hello everyone! This week I wanted to do a really fun DIY for your mini happy planner. I know that it's getting towards the end of December and a lot of us have already picked out our planner for the year, and sometimes we don't necessarily like the covers that come with our happy planner. So what I wanted to do is show you a tutorial on how to make one that is interchangeable. What you can also do with these pockets, or covers rather, is use them as pockets. You can put in photos, project life cards, stickers, money, whatever you want. And then I'm also going to tell you how you can take that technique and use it for something like this card holder. Okay, so for materials, you're going to want something to cut your laminator sheets down. I'm using these 3mm pouches. I would recommend something higher, probably 5, or even if you can get like a 7 or a 10 would be great. You can use the 3. I know these are more readily available. You'll probably just want to put in a thicker sheet of cardstock with your decorative papers that you use. And I'm using a utility knife. This one is a little bit more expensive, has the gold tip blade. I just find that these last longer, but you can pick these up for just a couple dollars. And then a ruler. I like this one because it has clear lines and it also has a grippy surface underneath. If you would prefer to use something else to cut your sheets, they have trimmers like these, and they're also guillotine paper cutters. Use whatever you feel most comfortable with. So now that we are getting ready to make our covers, we want to take an older cover. This is just the easiest way to get the measurements that you need. What you have to remember is that when you are making your sheets, you're going to want to cut where this paper is, not where the edge of the laminator sheet is. And you don't want to go from edge to edge. You want to go from edge to just before where these rings are. So when you measure it out, you can see it's going to be somewhere around 4.5 inches. And in height, you can go from top to bottom. So you're going to be around 7 1/8 to 7 1/4. So I have these cut down to size, and I also have my full-size laminator sheet. You can cut down the larger laminator sheet to the size of your cover, the full size of the laminated cover from edge to edge. But I prefer not to do that at this stage because I find that the sleeves can slip around a little bit. The trick of this is that the outside of your laminator sheet is very shiny, and the inside, where you normally will put your documents, is a bit more matte. Now that I'm struggling to find the edge. And when you open these, you can see the difference there. When you open these, there is a fair bit of static that can kind of come from it. So just be aware if you have, pets or your hair. My first set had a bit of my hair stuck in it. So you want to take these apart now that you have your laminator sheet open, and you want them to be shiny sides in. So both of these are matte. And I find it easiest to line these up as far as I can go into this crease. And I just try to make sure that they are even. So now that this side is done, I'm actually going to move that over just a little bit because it's not even at the top. It's not a huge deal. We'll fix it when we trim it. But just for the sake of making this easier, I'm going to do that now. And then just to weigh it down, I'm going to stick this on top of it and do this. So we're going to want to do the same thing with this second sheet. We have the glossy side out now, and we want to flip it to glossy sides in. So remember, like sides will be touching when you're making these little laminator sandwiches. And I'm just making sure that I have some room in here while I'm laying it down. And I'm just going to hold this in place while this kind of seals over the top. So the next step is to run this through your laminator. I will show you mine. It's a bit overkill. I purchased it for foiling. You can get just a simple one from Scotch or Amazon or whatever works for you. But then you just run it through. So this is my laminator. It is a true lam laminator. And like I said, this is an industrial version. and it's definitely overkill. You do not need something this expensive. I will link it down below if it's something you're interested in. I used this for foiling, and you can see down here that you have the recommended heat settings for the laminator sheets that you are using. But right now I'm just waiting for this to come up to temperature, and then I will run my sheets through it. So as you can see, I have laminated this, and you can kind of make out where those double sheets are in here. So what we are going to do is we left this center bit for the excess. I'm going to leave this a little bit lower, but you want to trim this to roughly the same dimensions as your original cover. If you are familiar with laminating, then you'll see that there are these areas that aren't sealed all the way up to the edges, and you just want to make sure that you cut around that. Since we are cutting probably about 1/8 of an inch from that, that won't be an issue. And then you are going to want to cut about 1/2 inch from this side. Let me just measure that really quickly. Yeah, about 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to do that really quickly, and I will show you what to do from there. So now that I have cut those two sides, well, 3 sides actually, and I've left about 1/2 inch on this side, what you'll want to do is cut this beyond that sealed edge, because you want to be able to use this as a pocket and slide things in it. So I'm just going to line this up, and I think I've given myself enough room, but we'll see. And now that it's cut, you can see that we have a pocket that we can put our little piece of paper in. Now, when you are cutting out your covers, you want to keep in mind the dimensions that you used and cut this 1/8 of an inch shorter. That way, when you are sliding it in, it's not going to be really snug. And now you have your own little cover. So I'm going to do the other side really quick. So the quickest and easiest way to punch your covers is to use one of these. Now, I know that these are a little expensive, so there is a way around it, but for right now, I'm just going to show you this one. I've noticed with the mini happy planners that they don't always go to the guides when you're cutting out inserts. So what you want to do is just use your cover to check and see if the markings are correct. So anyway, what we're going to do is try to slide this in here and see where the markings line up, and we can see that that's about right. And when we check, we can see that the paper is to that white marking. So that is where we will want to cut our inserts. Now we have both of these cut, and they are all ready to go into our planner. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention is I did this little card holder pocket. It uses the exact same technique, and you can see that the top pocket is already free, but the bottom one needs us to cut some sort of slit in it. So what I'm going to do is take my ruler and I'm going to line it up probably about 1/8 of an inch under this line. I'm just going to gently try to cut this. I don't want to cut through both sides. I just want to cut through one. So this is just kind of trial and error, but it's best to go a little bit slower than to cut through the whole thing. All right, and after a couple tries, you have your own little pocket. So let me just grab my cards really quick, and you just slide them in. Now all you have to do is stick these right in your planner. And you have this really neat card holder. And you just snap on your covers, like so. I'm just being lazy at the moment. I'm just snapping these over the existing covers. So you can see that these are a little more flexible than what you're used to with your standard covers, as these are really quite hard to bend. But they definitely work, and they can make your planner super personalized. And here it is, our final covers. Now you can put things in here if you like, stickers or embellishments. Slide them right in so that they are in reach when you need them. You can also put in things like pictures, project life cards, maybe even coupons or money, or maybe like a schedule, movie tickets, whatever you need to use these pockets for, you can. And then with a pocket like this, you can easily keep your cards and other things. You can make these larger to have money or pictures. But what's really nice is that this technique is so universal to so many things. So I just wanted to show it to you really quick. That is all for this week. I hope you enjoyed this DIY. I really had a lot of fun making it and showing it to you. If you want to see more videos like this, please like this video and let me know, because it's really helpful for me to know what you guys want to see. So that is it. Bye!